Hi. I have a lot of things. I had a specific thing I wanted to talk about, but then my mind's occupied with a lot of other thoughts, so I just want to I just want to stay here for a while and just share what's on my mind, what's been on my mind. It's been a long time. It feels like a long time between every every time I come to speak. I'm not very open about my process for quite some time. And what I wanted to share is connected to a feeling internal aggression. Um, Aggression towards myself. It speaks to the relationship between maybe both parts of me, but me in parts as well. Like the struggle to be really fully conscious in many ways. And to recognize, I don't know if this is going to sound odd to people, but to recognize myself, my experience, my feelings as not just valid, but that they are an expression of me, they are mine. Like it's easy for me to discard everything that happens inside. Literally everything. But so I have my phone and I have notes, but before that, what's on my mind is the concept of value and how what's on my mind is how many shitty coaches are out there. That's on my mind, but it's also on my mind how we're supposed to bring value, that I should be so focused. That's how I feel. That's the message I feel, that I should be so focused on what can I contribute, what is my gift to others. It's so, I don't know the word in English. It's like not altruistic. It's so selfless. And I've kept thinking about like what can I give others? How can I be there for others? It's so much about the other, and I'm feeling like I am feeling like my mind's all over the place. I'm feeling like I'm really selfish. I heard it was a conversation about I was listening to David Data talking about the superior man, like the three stages of man, or man, I think. And he was talking about the third stage. You're in service of something higher. And I'm not talking about God or something like that, but a higher principle, like love, unity, change. It can be whatever, like how you feel. Which is I hope I will come back to this as well, because this is so, there's so many people out there trying to be important by telling people this is the way to live. It's so much putting things onto others, and there's so little inviting people to come out of themselves. Like, who are you? What do you want? Like to really see each and every single one of us as you are your own unique expression. You came here with you. What's that? What's the purest form of you for you to live out? have I become a person that's making noises now? But that felt really good. That felt really good. But yeah, like when David talks about this being in service of something higher, it really got me thinking. And I've talked about this a lot in like videos way back when I was watching a lot of content about quantum physics and the unified field, things like that. And I've seen, like, also when spiritual people talk about this field of potential, it's the same image kind of as when they talk about the unified field. And it's like this fabric in space is how they show it in videos. It's like you roll a dice on it and it flows. It's like a silk scarf in the wind. And so that's what we are, and that's where everything arises from. It's interesting that that's in the space in my mind, so that can be a whole talk, but sidetracked by philosophical questions. Yeah, like I'm thinking about that unified field, and I'm thinking about all the people, all organisms in that, and we are like single individuals in that fabric. And in this fabric, it's almost like there's a flow of information all the time, going back and forth. It's like that. It's almost like that the fabric is information in a way, and it keeps just traveling. And everything it meets, it's affected. It takes with it information, and it passes out information, and it keeps evolving. That's how I see it in my mind's eye. And so this idea of being of service, I hate that. Hate it. Just wanted to express that. Is so much like this outer output energy, like, oh, I'll change that person, I'll change that person, me want this to change. And I don't even know why I hate it. I hate it for so many reasons, I think. But that feels so different. I also hate being in that energy. It makes me feel fucking powerless. And striving, all the time, striving, trying. But it feels so different to be, let's say, integrity, being really true to myself, like being like this in myself, and having words that, like, the congruency, I think, in being like that, really, like, I'm radiating as me, and my actions and words are a reflection. It's a match, it's all the way through. It's permeating. Being that's my service, I feel. So it's all about me being that. If there's a mark I want to leave on this world, it's being that in this, like, ever-flowing ocean or this ever-flowing sea. I want to be affected and keep, like, coming back to, okay, this all the time. And I feel like maybe it's like when if you have a child and the child's out of himself or herself, like tantrum, crying, like just like in all this pain, and to be that steady parent, unshakable in my presence, in my I'm here, it's okay, I'm here, everything you are is okay. You can be all that. And to just be that, unwavering, until the child moves through all of its emotions, and the child settles into, okay, it's through, the wave is through, and we're back in connection and closeness. Like, this sounds so selfish when I say it, but I want the world to entrain to me. I don't want to entrain to the world. That sounds so healthy. In a way, actually. Because the world's not good. The world's not good. We all know. So I wanted to put that out there because that's really been on my mind. I think I had another thing on my mind, so I'm thinking. No, I think I want to go back to where I was this morning, because I was feeling so much aggression. And I've felt this for some days now. I want to talk about it in therapy tomorrow. I felt it since last week, actually. Maybe even before that. And I'm now fully understanding, have some awareness. I got some more this morning. But I think it's really interesting like I'll explain what I was in touch with this morning. It's this voice inside me. She's really inside. It's like she's here. Both in my heart and in my, like, here, my head, forehead. It's so interesting. Here, it's here. And in my heart. And she's saying, like, you're not fucking listening. You're not listening to me. I'm right here. And you're not seeing me. And then there's this feeling of, you know when someone's checked out? It's kind of like, yeah, I recognize you, but it's like empty. They're empty. That's that. I have those two feelings. And I don't know which direction this is going to go, or if or when I'll check my phone for all the notes I have. But this process of healing and all the symptoms of sexual abuse, not knowing, denial, doubt, confusion, so many instances that cannot really be explained in another way, so many patterns that it's really hard to explain them in another way. Just navigating all this and navigating my relationship to all those things. And it's really hard. I keep identifying with the parts that kept me safe, which is denial, minimizing, I'm just fucked up, the problem's here. It's really hard. Really hard. And there's a constant or continuous dismissal of everything that comes up, and the argument of the dismissal is interesting. It's like, that's not real. That's just a voice in my head. I'm sounding like a crazy person now. That's just a voice in my head. That's just untangible. You can't touch it. It's not something you can visibly see in front of you. Like if a child was standing in front of me, or even if it was a child standing in front of me and she said she feels that way, that doesn't mean it's true. It doesn't mean it happened. There's so much of that. But that like part about all those things inside me, they're not me. I think that's really key. And I'm in this process or fucking battle to like let's say I imagine myself as 6 years old, 7 years old. I was so scared of being in my own house alone. After when I was 8 and I started first grade, I did not want to be in my own home. I was so scared. So scared. If I were to see that child now, if I really tried to make it real, that was actually me. That was me. I was that child, which is really hard for me to take that in. But if I saw that child, I'd be like, oh, wait. something's not right. That child's acting loud. Why is she so anxious? Like, she seems terrified. What's she so scared of? And I'll kind of like start looking around. So I'm in that process. And I'm thinking, because this aggression, this anger that's coming up so strongly, it's an asking to really recognize me. I'll check my phone now. I'll check my phone. Yeah, this is, so I'm looking at the first note. That I don't consider whatever comes up in me as valid parts of me or as me. And for instance, it's, I think I talked about this when I changed from saying inner child to my younger self, because inner child is kind of still like distant and other, and younger self is like, that's my young self. I was young once. It brings it one step closer. I can still rationalize that that's not me for some reason. I think I can manage to do that. I was about to say without sounding like a crazy person, but I can't promise that. But it's so easy in the spiritual world and like the coaching realm, the healing community, and for me also, obviously, to it's so easy to be dismissive of all those things that comes up, and to be like, well, that's just my shadow, meaning that's something I learned as a child, and those things that part of me believes is distorted from the truth, so it's not. Yeah, that should we should update that part to what's actually true. And it's skipping the step of totally just ignoring the fact that that's not what it's about necessarily. Like, in a way, yeah, but at the same time, I would say it's the relationship between you and that one that's more important first and foremost. That it's like, oh, that was my reality. That maybe is my reality. That, I don't know how to explain that. It's almost like there's not, in me, at least I can speak for myself, I'm not really landing often with my parts and being like, yeah, you actually believe this, it makes sense. Like, you have a right to believe this. I don't want to force you to believe something different. I would like to not put us in situations that reinforces what you've already experienced, that repeats things. I would like to treat us better. Like, I'll be responsible for that. And I can also hold that. It's so easy when you talk to others as well to point out, like, oh, that's not super healthy, is it? Oh, you believe that? That's not completely, like, yeah, I can see how that's your childhood. It's not enough, in my opinion, not enough. That's where you're at. I'm here for that. I'm really here for that. That's awful. Like, I'm sorry. I can understand why you react the way you react. Like, that really deep leveling. Maybe people, coaches, experts, whatever, because people have, like, when I'm in this situation that, like, I'm giving an example of now, people have so much power within themselves. Like, I think maybe this is a thing that people would really like to be like saviors and important and to be the one that facilitated that change. It's a bit different to be kind of like more leaned back and to just witness in love, in a way, and to really be a companion. Not companion, bad word. To really be a witness. And let people unfold into their own truth and power, because people have that in them. But then it's like the change comes from that person, and I'm just, in a way, no one. In a way, also, I'm not no one, but it's like I can't take credit for that. In a way, that was all you. It's a bit humbling. I'll check my phone again for the next thing. Yeah, that's really interesting. I'm writing my childhood situation is like a blueprint that I live in and from. It's like a filter. I think of ways to make it work within a system where people aren't aware, willing to become aware, able to see and understand me. They are not in their emotional reality and therefore can't be in or with mine. I think this is so interesting as well, because you have to imagine two levels or two layers. and within this lower level, you don't have the third person perspective. You're not able to objectively talk about your subjective experience. You're not removed from yourself, or you don't have the capacity to remove from yourself while being in touch with yourself. You're in it. You're in the drama. And not saying drama is a bad thing, but you're in the feelings, you're in the patterns, you're in it. You're really in it. Absorbed in it. And you don't have the ability to step out of yourself and be like, wow, I'm acting like that now. That's something. Because when you do that, there's a new level of safety, connection, camaraderie. There's security in that. That's like when people say like cosmic joke, made me think of that. Because like when you can remove yourself enough to be like, that's kind of funny. It's sad, but it's funny. To be in a position where if it's you and me and we're having an argument and it's getting fucking heated and we're both able to like take this step back or this step up, like, what are we doing? We're like fucking cats fighting. How are you really holding up with this? Like, that's intense. And to really be like, we got each other. Like, we're here for each other. But we're in a mess right now. And then maybe you will be able to tell me like, well, I'm trying for my life here. Trying to make you understand me. And I don't feel like you get it. And from that perspective I was in the drama world, probably don't get it. Whereas it wouldn't be a drama. But when I'm removed, I might be able to be like, okay, so what are you really feeling? And then you might actually be able to communicate more clearly. And it all helps, you know, how to solve conflict. But this is because I was thinking about this aggression that I have towards myself. So gnarly. It's so angry. And I was thinking like I wanted to, let's see if I can get this out straight, if I'm saying what I'm meaning. I was feeling so angry this morning because I wanted to be alone and I had planned something with someone for almost the entire day. And I was just like, no, I need to be alone. I need to be here. I need to do this. I need to write. I need to talk. Which means I have to cancel. He will be upset. He'll be hurt. He'll be disappointed. It will feel like this drop, sinking feeling. I feel so guilty. And now I'm so, let me think. It's like I'm expecting the situation to be that. And so I'm in such turmoil within myself. I think that the aggressiveness is like defensiveness of like, I'm already preparing for a fight with this person. Which I'm puzzled by that a bit. It's almost like I feel like I have to fight for me being allowed to do what I do, but not having this person's permission. And of course I should have my own permission, and it will be a bonus if I get his understanding and okayness, kind of, his like receiving me in that. And so I think it's quite clear that I'm not having my own my own permission. But that made me think, like, because this is a normal reaction for me. It's easy for me to get into this fight energy, which tells me just this is how it must have this is how it must have been in my childhood. That's all I know. My childhood, that's all I know. And I try to have myself, to share myself. I try to tell someone, hey, like, you're making an impact on me. And I'm powerless in all directions. I cannot get my needs met here. I have to fight for it. I have to try to be really clever about it. How do I figure out how to make this happen? It's this constant, like, because they cannot, like, level. They cannot sit down and be like, I see how you feel. Of course, that's painful. Let's not do that then. You don't want to do that. I hear you. Let's do something else. How about that? Never that. Never that, which will kind of be like the top level, where it's you and me, and we're okay. This is how it should be with a parent and a child. I got you. We're good. I have all these feelings. I'll take care of them. And you, when you as a child, you have your feelings, I'll be here to take care of you in that. I'm your safety here. I'm your cliff, you know. I'm the one here to I'm I'm the one that's supposed to guide you through this. And to have you in love and all this. Where was I? Yeah, so I never had that with my parents. Never had that. Boy, that made an impact. That fucked me up. So yeah, all I know, which is kind of like, you know, when you burn cattle, like that's how I see it. It's like someone putting like zzz, like burning that into my being. So it's like, that's now who I am. And I'm caught in this filter. I'm caught in this experience. I'm captured by it. And I have, because I'm in the process of awareness, so I have moments where I'm like, wait, I'm in patterns, and I get some clarity and I get sucked back in. But then I was thinking about this today, like, it requires to dance, I think the position, if I'm able to withhold this level, this upper level, this yay, we want to be here. Maybe you don't, but let's say I do. So to withhold, or to hold on, withhold, be in this level, maintain this level, it's easier if the other person gets up on that same level, because that is when we're like, okay, we're both here. I can breathe. You can breathe. We're good, right? We're just having like a really hard conflict right now, but we're good. You're still here. Hey, I'm still here. Okay, cool. Let's look at this. And we look down at the lower level, and we're like, okay, let's sort this. We're in this. And then even one person can slip down in, and I can be like, okay, hey, wait. Remain up here with me, please. So it's easier to deal with this. And we're helping each other. Like, that's a whole different vibe. Like, I have your best interest, and I love you, and I want us to figure this out. It's the security of the permanency of us moving forward together. Like, that feels like such safety when I talk to people who are like, when I lose myself in unawareness, in patterns, and they are able to be like, so this is really hard for me when I lose myself to the degree that I cannot see myself, see my patterns, so I can communicate in the way I would like to. And they are like, I can see you're having like a lot right now going on, and you're probably upset with me, you're probably really scared that I'll leave, you're probably scared you leave, this is probably really challenging for you, which is okay. Like, you have time to figure this out. You can ask someone else for help, go have a session, talk to some other friends, and come back when you feel like you're good. Or maybe I can talk to you, but I'm here. Like, I want you to know I'm here. Like, I'm not shaken by this. This is a bump in the road. When they have that safety, I'm just like, oh, that's at least I can relax on some level, because I don't have to be fucking freaking out that me not being in control of myself will for sure make me lose you. I was wanting to say something else. Yeah, because I was thinking, if both people are not able to step into that top and stay, or keep being in touch with it at least, if the other person's like on the lower, how can you make this work? And I think this is where I keep falling short. I'm not willing to recognize, okay, they are actually on this level and they're not interested in coming up here. They're not interested. They said so. It's like my mom. I don't want to be vulnerable. She said so. Believe people when they tell you, right? So it's almost like you can't do anything about this because they don't have awareness. The only chance is to kind of like, I get sucked into this and I play at their level, and that's kind of like the only form of connection I get, which is not really connection because we're just playing out roles. So that's one thing. I'll check my phone again. I have more notes. Yeah, here's another interesting thing I'm writing. I keep thinking I have to be in communication, and not just communication, but active connection with others. I expect myself to continuously be there with them, go with them to whatever they want to do, and have sex if they want that. It's always an expectation inside me to step in and give them the experience and the feeling that they would like to have to satisfy their needs. I'm noticing this so often. The closer I get to someone, the more pronounced it becomes. But this is also a filter within my whole being, where that's always, my focus is always there on the other person. What do they need me to be? Sit with that sentence. What do they need me to be? How can I be that? No room for myself there, really. I think that's a really horrible sentence. And it's so much, like, when I think about that, it's so much about what do they need so they can be satisfied, because when they're satisfied, they relax and the danger is over. Their needs are met, they're fulfilled, so I'm safe. That's how it feels. Yeah, and I've written one more thing as well. I've written so many things. Like I'm bracing myself for the consequences if I tell them what I need in this moment. And that's what I talked about before. Like if I communicate with someone or with you, and what I communicate makes you, let's say we're on, I don't know, I wouldn't say we're on like this top level, but we're like okay, like we're in some okay parts, and then I say something and it makes you drop like into more like other parts, and now you're having a lot of reactions towards me. You're like defensive, you're attacking me, you're really hurt, you're upset, you're really scared, and you're taking it out on me. You know, if like you're playing a role now and you're projecting a lot of things onto me, and you're not seeing me clearly anymore. You're not holding on to the relationship that we have anymore. If you can't hold that, it's so scary to like put things on the table, because a lot of people will have that reaction, and I'll include myself. I'm gotten better, but I was really not good with that before. Like to take criticism. I think we all know someone who cannot take criticism, and even criticism is not a good word, maybe in a way. Can be, cannot be. Lots of nuances in that, but yeah, it's when people lose themselves in parts. It's hard. It's hard if they are not committed to becoming aware. Let me sit for a minute. Talked straight for 42 minutes. I feel like I should round up and be like, oh, I have some bigger picture seeing now. But I don't. I don't. I can only, I'm in the middle of something. I'm in the middle of like a longer process. I can tell. Yeah, like I'm battling with this. I'm fighting with this. I want to be able to have relationships on this level where we can talk about like having objective conversation about subjective experiences. And I don't want to be in relationships where that's not possible, because that's not possible. There's really not safety, there's really not enjoyment, there's really not intimacy, there's really not depth. There really isn't a lot of things. And just maybe me battling this. See what will come out, where I will come out. Always I feel back to the question of, okay, so if I'm here and my family is here, and am I coming to the conclusion that there cannot be a relationship at all with the people that are here? Like how do I, is there some solution, and there's some way of connecting that can feel okay enough to satisfy the parts of me that really don't want to fully let go. Yeah, I'm hungry. I'll go eat now. Thank you for listening. Hope you're holding up well in this eclipse season. It's shit show. It's so bad. So bad. If you're struggling, me as well, crying, lots of crying. I've had whole days of crying with breaks in between. breaks where I think I'm fine. Oh, I'm done crying. And someone says, I love you. And then I'm like, I'm crying. More crying. Yeah.